Okay, I've been doing a half-hour decay test, about 35 minutes actually, at 29.3. It's been going between 29.5 and 29.3 back and forth. Anyway, so it's right around 29.3, 29.5. Anyway, I don't want to live with that. Okay, what I want to do is bring it back to where it was low. I don't want to just release the refrigerant now and call that good. Okay, once we got our decay test, we know it's good. What we want to do is start the vacuum back up again, get it down to as low as we can, and then release a wisp of refrigerant. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So the first thing we're going to do is start this thing back up again. We're going to get that thing going down as low as we can, just like normal. Okay, and once we get it really super low again, we're going to release a wisp of refrigerant simultaneously as we valve it off. Okay, so we're going to release a little bit and valve it off. I'm going to show you the steps to do it because I don't want you to have, 29 microns of goo in there, just because that was our decay test. All right, so the decay was like 19 or 18 or whatever, and it decayed to 29 or whatever, and I don't want 10 microns of goo in there. I want that stuff gone. So we're going to bring it all back down to 19 or 18 again, and then we're going to release a whiff of refrigerant, but not from the line that has the tools, from the line that doesn't have the tools. It'll go up throughout the IDU and come back here and seal this vacuum we got, okay? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do that right now. Let's go ahead and get her back down to 18 or 19, and we'll start. And if we just do our normal vacuuming like we did, and I think it was like 18 or something, and then we do a half-hour decay test, and it goes up to 28 or whatever it was, 29 or whatever it was, and that means there's 10 microns of goo in there that didn't belong. It's possible it could have came from any little connection here. You know what I mean? It could have came from anywhere. We don't know where it came from. So there's different connections that came from. It's not necessarily in your line set. Okay, so I want to bring it back down to as low as we can get it, which is, like I said, around 18 or so. And then, as soon as we get it down to that low, simultaneously, we're not going to worry about the vacuum. It'll just run. We're going to valve it off. Okay, so it cuts off the vacuum. And as soon as we valve it off, we're going to release a wisp of refrigerant. And that refrigerant will go all the way up through and stay right here and just seal our, it'll be valved off here, so it'll seal our vacuum and make it perfect. And then we'll be able to put our valve core back in with refrigerant backing us up, okay, keeping us from losing our vacuum. Okay, we're down to 17.8 microns, so that's good. We're going to go ahead and open this up. Now remember, you want to open the one that has no tools. Okay, these are the one with tools on it. We don't want to open that one yet until the end. We just want to open this one up here, and what it's going to do is it's going to send some refrigerant up here all the way through to the IDU and come back here and seal the system. We're going to simultaneously turn that and valve that off. We'll leave the vacuum on and we'll turn it off later. We don't care about that. We want to make sure we do this properly. So we're going to have this thing here set, and on is to screw it in, goes in, and then screw it out comes this way. Okay, so we're going to open it up. All right, so right now we're at 17.3 microns, so we're really good. So remember we were at like 28 microns or something. We had a bunch of goo in there, and now it's gone. Now we're down to 17.2 microns, so that's perfect. So what we're going to do is release a whisper of refrigerant. At the same time we do that, now we just go ahead and close it right back down. Okay. So that's all done now. So now we just have a little bit of refrigerant in there, and our cool vacuum is totally sealed now. Okay, so now we're going to remove this and replace our valve core. Okay, I'll show you the steps to do that real quick. Okay. So what we want to do is, because it's valved off, we can't just stick it in there very far. So we bring this tool all the way up, okay, and we stick it on there. Now this is, take it right, it's a low loss fitting, so we just take it right on up. We don't want to go very tight. That's low loss. So anyway, just go a little snug, with your fingers. And watch this right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to release this refrigerant out of the system and push this down here and get this. Watch this. See that? Now this has pressure on it now with the thing. So what we want to do is release the a little bit of air that was trapped right here. Okay, so just open the fitting a little bit. Hear that? Right there. All right, so all the air is gone now. It's just refrigerant now. Okay, we want to make sure we get that air out of there so don't contaminate our system. And now what we want to do is just, because we're going uphill and we're fighting a little bit of pressure from the refrigerator, not much, but there's a little bit in there, and we're going uphill, we got to keep the pressure on this thing here. So we push it up. You don't have to push very hard, but just keep pressure on it, and then start turning. Okay. You just keep pressure on it with your thumb and turn it in. You'll feel it get snug. Okay, now what we want to do is go ahead and valve it right there. We're going to open this up. You see our valve core is gone now. Okay, now we're going to do a final test to see if the valve core is holding. So it could have a bad Schrader valve. You're supposed to replace it every time. I don't, but you're supposed to. But it's never proven to me that it's ever been truthful that you can't use them more than once. And I know I own 500 of them, but there's just no reason to throw it away. Anyway, so I'll go ahead and show you that it doesn't leak first before we move on. Because if it does leak, we'll just pull it out and put a new one in. No problem. See? That's why you test it first before anything else. You test it while you got all the tools already hooked up still. We're just going to do our final test right here. Okay, so our test is just take a little sponge and load it up with some soapy bubbles. This is just soap, Dawn dishwashing detergent. So just load it up with some bubbles and make plenty of suds, because all you care about is the suds. And you simply go like this and you open it up and see if it'll blow bubbles. Okay. And you're not going to be able to see very good, but I'll tell you whether I see any or not, because it really behooves me to find out if there's any leakage. This is the perfect time to replace a valve core. Perfect. There's nothing coming out. So that's all filled with suds now, and everything's perfect there. And so now we can just remove this and open up our thing. So what we'll do is we'll take this thing here off. And this one here, because it's not a low loss, it has an O-ring, but you got to use a tool to put it on tight, not super tight, but just snug it up. So you have to use a tool to get it off too. Okay. And when we go to put these back on, we put a little nylon on the threads, because this is not a flare face. So just put them on the threads, nylon, and then cinch them on tight. Not super tight, but not torquing, but just tight. And then you put this one on with a flare face, put a little nylon on the flare face there, and tighten it, because these are not decorative. They're for sealing. It's part of the sealing system. There's O-rings in there. There's a plastic, kind of a washer in there on the Schrader valve. And these have O-rings. You want to kind of protect those, okay? All right, so at this point, we're ready to open up our refrigerant all the way. Okay, and then okay, now if it's your job, I still have to do my electrical here, so I don't have my electric done yet. But what you want to do is take these and put them on there. After I put a little nylon on there, cinch them on and get them all tight. And then turn your system on. Like right now, it's summer mode. So you put it on cool mode and turbo fan and 60 degrees. Then come out here and check all your joints. Check this joint there, here. So these already got the caps on, remember? We've talked about that, to put the caps on, cinch them on. So you can still soap bubbles on everything, soap bubbles on everything here, all the way here, and then the two at the IDU also. If there's nothing leaking, you're good to go. Literally, if nothing else happens, this thing will go for 20 years. The line set was made not only evacuated, but dehydrated. It's perfect. It's literally perfect. I mean, it was down to like 19 microns or something. It was perfect and sealed. And it's just, the virgin refrigerant came out of here and went into a nice receptacle that was also made perfectly clean. So it'll just, it's maintained its virginity through the whole thing. It'll literally is now going to be perfect throughout the whole time. Okay? If you guys have any questions, put them down below. Don't forget that last step. It's super important. We've had more people fail recently because it all leaked out. They didn't check. It take a couple minutes. You know, literally, you'll take a couple minutes and you'll go out and get some soapy bubbles and you'll simply just put it everywhere. I mean, it doesn't take more than a couple seconds. You simply just wipe on the thing. You look for bubbles. You move it around. You look for anything leaking. There's nothing leaking now because it's not even on. It's under pressure, but it's not very much pressure, you know. But anyway, the point is you check everything. You check everything for leaks. Okay? Do that. Make sure you get that final test done. It's super important. Then you can just relax and enjoy your life.